Hello, everybody. Let's all get seated and we are about to get started. It is 8 o'clock, so it's time for us. You can still keep eating pizza. There's going to be a nice chocolate cake at the end. And I'm happy to be here today. And these, like I mentioned like a couple of times, these are celebratory meetup. We are reaching the number 100. It's impressive. All right, all right. Not only 100, it's also 10 years. So it's quite a big milestone. But I think we're going to do another celebration for the 10 years, I don't know, by the end of the year. So here we go. By the way, there is some celebratory stickers. So that's what the screen that you see there. That's the logo with the 100. So you can pick a couple for you. So hold on, I need to put this on here. All right. Hello, everybody. This is KL 100, and it's brought to you by Ruby Ruby KL Meetup, and also brought to you by Engineers Mike. And let me see what else here. Oh, there's more here. So you can find us on Facebook, on rubybrigade.my. You can also find us on Meetup and GitHub and Slack and Discord, and that's it. Today's venue and food is sponsored by our friends at CoinGecko. Thank you so much for having us. CoinGecko is the world's largest independent source of reliable crypto data. CoinGecko's mission is to empower the decentralized future. And remember to introduce yourself. So I'm Helio. I'm one of the organizers of the meetup, the one that joined them recently. And I'm just going to hand the mic here to my friend Tristan, who's been doing this since meetup number 1. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tristan. I work at Icon. Jimmy couldn't make it today, so we started Pale Ruby Brigade from like last 2013, I think, in June, when we first like thought of it, and then I think Helio, you'll be showing like I got the screenshot
at the end,
this old chat. I had to scroll up like a long time in order to get that screenshot, so we'll show it like later tonight. Yeah. Hopefully Jimmy can make it. He'll be coming into the call.
Okay.
After his meeting, he has a meeting at 8.
Great. All right. So let's get going. And without further ado, today we're going to have 2 talks from the CoinGecko employees. One of them is the adventure of Ruby on Rails upgrade by Amree Zaid. And we also going to have a second talk about how to reduce stock image building in GitLab CI, building time, by Wenjie. I hope I got your name correct. If not, my sincere apologies. All right, without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker, Amree, and you can come.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Ruby Tuesdays meetup. I'm Amree, one of the CoinGecko's engineer. Today I would like to talk about the adventure of Ruby on Rails upgrade. So the title might be Ruby/Rails, but I think even for those who is not using Ruby or Rails, will benefit from this talk because it's not very specific to Ruby Rails upgrade. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty like talking about which syntax needs to be upgraded, that kind of stuff. I'm going to be talking more about the process because I think the code itself you can Google. These days you can check GPT 8. So it's more about the process on reducing the problems, that kind of stuff. Didn't have time to prepare like really well, so I'm just going to wing it. All right. First thing first, let's make this clear. Even though I'm the one who is presenting this talk, it's not me who's doing all the things, even though I'm the one who clicked the merge button. but I have people who support me throughout the whole project. Just a bit of spoiler, this took us about almost 6 months, and I don't think I can do it without the engineering team in CoinGecko. They support me in lots of things. Probably got annoyed for me asking for merge requests or bringing down the server, that kind of stuff. But I think it went well enough, not too bad, at least for my side. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the context a bit. Of course, it's not the exact numbers. This is based on, I think, before the upgrade was done. So for those who are familiar with MVC framework, for example, like Laravel, Phoenix, that kind of stuff, they might understood how big and complex this application. So CoinGecko has been like for 9 years, I think. So we have like things like controller at 150, more than that right now. Even the routes, the URL that you type, just for the English is 1,300, and we support like, I don't know, 10 more languages. I forgot, 34, yeah, so right, from the SEO team. So at that time, we were using about 390 gems. For those who don't know, gems is a library similar to NPM. So we rely about we use about 390, or maybe I got the code wrong. I think it's 390. And test coverage, it's a bit funny on this one, because when I started the process, I thought we have like 83% of code coverage. So I was very confident. I mean, we have 83%. What else could go wrong? So apparently in the configuration, we disable some directory, which is the controller part. So it's actually not 83%, it was 77%. So it's not A anymore. Being Asian, it has to be A plus. So for race itself, we were using 5.2.7 that time. 5.2.7 was released in 2022, not bad, because we did the upgrade in 2022 as well, but it's a patch. Even at that time, race 7 has already gone out, so it has been released. To give you some context, version 5 was released in 2018, right? So we won't get the version 6 or version 7, just to be clear. So we only get 5.2.7 with some patches, some security upgrades, that kind of stuff. So we are missing out a lot of things since 2018. We upgrade on 2022, not 2023. So for Ruby itself, we were using 2.5.8, which was released in 2020. So yeah, again, I think it was already end of life that time when or close to end of life before we started the process of upgrading. So I'm going to split my talk to 3 sections: before, during, and after. So what do you do before you do upgrade? Of course, you get approval from the management first. You're going to spend your time not building features to fix probably a technical debt. Something usually when we build a feature, that's when the money comes in. But when you do Ruby always upgrade, that doesn't mean the money gonna come in. Maybe it's gonna help support you getting the money. So I tried to find good words. I'm not good at copywriting. I rely on ChatGPT about this. So I copy paste some words from fastruby.io. Fastruby.io is an agency, quite famous, who's doing Ruby on Rails upgrade for anyone who wants it. So they are providing lots of services for nobody's upgrading. So in order to get more customers, they put these words: more time building, not fixing. I can relate to this one, at least. When I was building a feature, I need a new gem, but I couldn't use it because it has newer dependencies. In order to get that dependencies, I have to upgrade like 4 or 5 gems. I'm not going to spend time to do that because I have timeline. So I just built my own, something like that. I try and retain talented developers. I think this is quite obvious. We developers always like new and shiny stuff. So I don't think anyone is gonna go and apply for COBOL jobs here. I'm not saying it's that bad, but let's try not to go that route. Use new features. Obviously, whenever a new frameworks got released, we got new features. Maybe it's something that we wasn't thinking like we're gonna use it, but when it's there, oh yeah, we probably can use this to improve the speed or to improve the UI UX experience. Reduce running costs. To be honest with you guys, I don't see this happening, at least after I upgrade the Ruby on Rails, because we didn't downgrade the server after we did the whole thing. Of course, there are some CPU usage, like we're getting less CPU usage on certain things, but it's not to the point where, okay, upgrade is done, we can downgrade the server. No, it doesn't happen. At least not on our case. So on the right side is actually a message that I put announcing that we're going to do Ruby on Rails upgrade. So in CoinGecko, we have Basecamp. Sometimes we announce things that we want to do, and that's how we communicate. So yeah, just a plug for CoinGecko. So prerequisite, yeah, sufficient test coverage. It wasn't before. I thought it's 83%. So apparently it's just 77. The agency that I told you about just now, Fast Ruby, apparently they won't accept someone who wants to do Ruby or Rails upgrade without the right code coverage. If I'm not mistaken, maybe someone need to check that. But if you have less than 80%, they won't do it because they know the problem if they go ahead and upgrade something that wasn't covered in code coverage. Next, we should have a better observability tools. We rely on a couple of things, but mostly I rely on New Relic and Bugsnag at that time. We have things like CloudWatch, logs, and so many stuff, but I think these two are the most thing that I use a lot. A way to split the traffic in production. So I guess credit to Jack, one of the engineers in CoinGecko as well. He helped me to set up like a canary deployment where one server will receive less traffic than others. So he helped me set up the infra to ensure that I can do safer release. More on that later. Persistence, yeah, it's just one word, but actually this is one of the most important things. You're gonna get blockers, things you can't Google, things you have to look into the code to see how to fix it, because it's not a common thing. Sure, you do upgrade, it's common upgrade, but what about the context of your application? So as I mentioned before, we CoinGecko like have 9 years code base, serving billions of requests on our API, hundreds, I don't know, millions of, I don't know how many millions for the web. So we need to make sure that it's still up and running after we do the upgrade. So basically, don't give up. It's not easy, yeah, almost give up, but that's how I manage is that I just go to the next task. There's always gonna be more gems to be upgraded. I'm gonna tell you how many merge requests that I did just for the whole thing later. Actually, in the last slide. Time estimation is hard. I want to put impossible, but then maybe someone's good on time estimation. But I don't think I got this right. I remember asking Cedric, our engineering manager last time, can we do it like in 2 months? And it turns out it's gonna take me like almost 6 months. So it's very far-fetched than the original estimation. I think one of the main reasons is that I didn't figure out which gems needs to upgrade first. I thought, yeah, just upgrade Rails, right? Dependency, just upgrade here and there. It's not that simple. So I think a couple of tips there, figure out which gems, and then plus the time you need to do the testing, plus the time that you need to observe if there's any problem. So there's going to be a lot of time taken, not just for the coding, testing as well. 8:14, okay. So which gems to start first? This is quite specific to Ruby on Rails, at least for this one. I tried to, so in Ruby on Rails, you just change the version from Rails. For example, that one is 5.2.7. You want to upgrade to 6. You just change that one, and then you bundle, and then you can see the errors. So I think for a small application, it's easy to understand the error. At least for me at that point, I don't think I can understand the whole node or the graph dependencies. So what I did was last time is that I just comment out the gems that is giving me problem. So it is actually that simple. And then I bundles to make sure that there's no problem. I didn't start the application. I didn't run any function. So I just make sure that the bundle will go forward without those problematic gems. And then, I'm just going to skip that one. And then from that list, I created to-dos. So I grouped the to-dos into things, like, for example, like Ruby 2.7, 6.1, Rails 7. So it's grouped together. So I have a list. So as I mentioned before, when I'm stuck with something, I just move on to the next one. Sometimes I think I have 10 merge requests happening at the same time, because gem upgrade is quite small, but testing, getting code reviewed, people reading the changelog is not that fast, I think. It's time consuming. So another tips is that for Ruby on Rails developer, they can rely on rubygems.org a lot. I'm pretty sure there are tools where you can see the dependencies offline, but I think those 6 months, 5 to 6 months was the time when I opened Ruby Gems like every day basically, just to see the dependencies. So this gem require gem B, gem C, and gem B requires gem D, that kind of stuff. So it's quite confusing, but you get used to it. So let's go to the during. All right, this is the rules. I'm gonna spend a bit time on this. I'm not saying this should be done by everyone, but this works for me. The first major rules that actually determines my workflow in doing the upgrade is actually the number one. I can merge the gem upgrade as soon as possible to the master. I'm going to talk more how I manage the changes later, but this is the main rule. I don't wait for major upgrades to happen first before doing the upgrade. Incremental changes is something that I try to do even today, not just for gem upgrade, it's also for feature. Number two, obviously, you definitely need to read the changelog. I think the code reviewers for my merge request sometimes hint me, oh yeah, did you change this code? Because this changelog says that you need to update this code. I think I missed that a couple of times, but that's where code reviews shines in, so that helps. And sometimes you can't expect the open source author to have a good changelog. You're lucky if you have one, right? But sometimes you have to look into the code. Sometimes they don't put the breaking changes. They just group everything. Changelog, what changed? And then you have to look into, oh, okay, this change. And it won't be surprising that if you they didn't put the breaking changes in, because it happened to us and we brought down the production. Obviously, you must be deployed on staging just to see the problem. Try rerunning some of the gem features. This is actually quite challenging as well. As mentioned, CoinGecko code base is large. I don't know everything in CoinGecko. So when I see this gem is being used in feature A, I have to figure out how to run that feature A. So sometimes I just ping the last developer or the original developer. But then if it's being used like 2 years ago, they also like, oh yeah, I forgot already. So they help, but anyway, at the end, it's still my responsibility to make sure that I didn't break production. Bigger gaps in terms of the time for high risk gem. So it's more like on the deployment. I tried to put a gaps between the deployment. I don't deploy on Monday like 8 a.m. and then deploy the next one 9 a.m. So it's all about reducing the risk, the risk of bringing down the server. Sure, maybe I tested like 100 times on staging. Sure, it's good, but I can't say for sure that it's not going to bring down production. So one way to do it is to do incremental deployment. Limit deployments per day, quite related to number 5 as well. I don't do 10 gem upgrades per day because I need time to see if it's bringing down production later. I mean, sometimes it doesn't bring down the production, but sometimes it just give you like error where it's going to break some of the pages. So I need time to see if there's an error. So it goes back to the observability tools that I mentioned just now, New Relic, Bugsnag, that kind of stuff. And then schedule bit upgrades. So I need to schedule bit upgrades. So for example, like if I'm doing race upgrade, the race itself, not the gems, not the dependency, the race. Usually I would schedule 1 week earlier. I told people like I'm gonna do race upgrade on Monday, put it on the engineering calendar so that everyone will see it. And then I'm gonna remind people before end of the weekend. And then on a Monday itself, I'm still gonna do another reminder. So again, just to let everyone know. Sometimes I think it's very rare, but I think happened once or twice. I have to do deployment freeze. I tried to freeze just like half a day. Right? So I tried to find time where it's not gonna freeze big release, that kind of stuff, because my changes can wait. Yeah, big upgrade must be done on Monday morning. I don't want to do it on Friday. I love my weekend. So document as much as you can. So those to-dos that I mentioned just now, any logs, anything happen, usually I would put there. Even investigation, I think at this point, over communicating is okay. It's not like everyone gonna read my message there, but I just put it there so that I can review it later. Get someone as a backup during deployment. Big shout out to Cedric and Jack again for being the backup. Maybe they have to wake up earlier just to be on time, because usually I try to deploy at 9 or 10 to make sure. So having more people during deployment is going to help, because once things, not the other word, things hit the fan, then it's always good to have someone that you can brainstorm, be the rubber duck or something. And probably he's going to do the rollback and you can investigate the problem. So more people help, but you don't need the whole team, just 1 or 2%. Right? 9 minutes left. I don't think people will understand this, because this is more 200. So this is one of the main thing that I want to explain a little bit. I blog about this a little bit, but I'm gonna explain. So this is how I maintain multiple gem, or let's call it library, multiple library upgrade at the same time. So I mentioned to you guys just now that I might have like 10 merge requests happen at the same time. So everything is rebased on master. So it's quite common to have like pull requests, merge request number 1, merge request number 2 and 3, where you have changes and the parent branch is the master. So anytime once it has been reviewed, it has been tested, you just merge, all good. But then when doing race upgrade, usually I would have multiple dependencies. So that's why, for example, like on the merge request number 4, in order to upgrade Gen 4, I need to have Gen 3 ready first. So that's when things started to get haywire. So you need to use parent branch from merge request number 3, which is for Gen 3, right? So then it gets more trickier on merge request number 5, where Gen 5 requires Gen 4, Gen 4 requires Gen 3, and then Gen 3 is going to be rebased on master. So it's easy if there's no changes, but let's say you update merge request number 3, then it's going to be a problem, because you need to rebase everything. So it started to look like a branch, like a train chain, whatever that's been called. I'm not trying to go deep into on the right side, but I built like a custom tool to manage the merge request. Is very custom to my workflow, but it's good enough. So it's just gonna do like a rebase for master, and then rebase Gen 3, rebase Gen 4, and then rebase Gen 5, and then push everything to GitLab, because we use GitLab or GitHub. Okay, maybe a little bit on the right side. At one point, I think we have more. I have more gem upgrades happening, but I do want to see if I have the latest version that I want to upgrade. For example, like just now from version 5 to 6, what will happen if I already have all these gems upgrade? Which is why this is my real notes actually from the last time. So I had to do this whenever I need to update REST 7 branch. So I have to merge all this just to see if it's gonna throw a problem. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna merge REST 7 immediately. More like I'm trying to see if there's any problem with REST 7 after upgrading all these gems, because I would never know. So this me trying again goes back to reducing the possibility of problems here. All right. So this is the last one about the branch. So at one point, I think even though I was doing REST 6 upgrade, I already have REST 7 branch ready. So those small boxes on yellow is actually the small gem upgrades. So I don't know how many chain this is, but yeah, that's how it is. So even though I'm not going to merge REST 7 or REST 6 right away, I still have this ready for me to test on CI or even on staging. So this is the deployment part. 16F. Okay, we do canary, but I thought this is good enough, but actually it wasn't because of certain things. Maybe my definition of canary was wrong. Yes, we do deploy on one server first and then see if there's any problem before we deploy to other servers. But the problem is that we didn't split the resources. So those servers are still sharing the same cache. I'm going to talk about the problems later. All right, let's talk about after. So this is the only charts that I can find. So again, we didn't do downgrade servers after seeing this chart, like after 5% goes to less than 1%, but it's a good chart anyway. This is the timeline from April, I think I mean, I started with 5.2.8 June and ended at November 22nd. And Ruby and Rails upgrade happened at the same time. So Ruby is like PHP version, right? And then Laravel is the framework for Rails. So maybe somehow I assume lots of Laravel developer here. That's common, right? Sorry, so incidents. I'm not gonna talk about all the incidents, but these are the major ones that actually bring down the server. We don't have lots of problems, right? I think if I'm not mistaken, this is the two of the biggest one. So outdated cache. So those are the logs that I put explaining what happened. So as usual, when there's something happen on production, we have to put a postmortem. So that's how CoinGecko works. So another part for CoinGecko. So the problem with the deployment with the canary just now. So let's say I upgrade the gem, the Rails, or gem, let's go with gem, simple explanation. And then we deploy to server one, right? So server one has the latest code, but apparently server one removed some of the code. So when I deploy, so I saw server one doesn't have any problem. All right, let's go with server two. So when I deploy to server two, errors start to popping up with some weird syntax. Apparently this particular code is not available anymore in the new gems. So when server one tried to write the cache that was written in server two, it's going to throw error. Because in CoinGecko, we rely a lot on caching, which is especially Redis. So when we do the canary deployment, we didn't split the resource. So we share the same resource. So I don't think it's right. But then again, we don't exactly have DevOps, so we do things on our own. So there's a bit of explanation for Ruby and Rails people. But the gist summary is that in Rails, you can cache the object. That's a bit different than catching a simple, say, native kind of type. For example, like maybe you catch array, maybe you catch JSON. So that one is the native one. But in Rails, you can catch the object itself, which is very convenient, to be honest, but it causes us problem because the old cache is not available. The part of the object is not available in the new gen anymore. So it's going to throw a problem. So yeah, I think I had to roll back or just deploy something that last time. So quite similar with the second problem as well. I think the new gem introduced new changes, new syntaxes, and then when the cache hit the server that hasn't been deployed with the new changes, it throws error. So quite similar. So that's why I just highlight these incidents because this is the biggest one. So I think we were scrambling that time, and credit to Cedric, I was like suggesting that we switch Redis that time, but then I forgot that we can actually switch the database in Redis rather than switching a server. We switch a database, so that helps in making sure that we can reduce the error and completely remove it in like shorter times. So that's how we solve at least for this problem. So again, problem with the caching. I'm probably going to take a bit more time, but this is the last slide. So improvements. I think it's very obvious that we should split resources during deployment, but it's going to cost us more money because that means more servers, and also requires like, I don't know, some provisioning. You need to be ready. Okay, we're going to do upgrade. We need to have the server ready. So you need to have the tools available. I think we don't rely on something like infrastructure as a code. We just click, and then it's ready. But things are changing this year. Just making that obvious. Yeah. This time is going to be different. So DevOps is already smiling at me. So we need to split the resources to make sure that the new code should only affect certain servers so that it doesn't affect the whole thing. Because last time I thought, oh, it's just going to affect server one. Apparently it's affecting everything. So that's a problem. Faster hotfix release. So this another problem. Last time it took us about, should I tell people? Like a long time to release something. So when things happen, when we want to push a hotfix, it took us a long time to push that hotfix. So this year, thanks to the DevOps, And Wenjie is going to talk about the same thing as well, how we reduce the amount of time that is taken to deploy new changes. So if I have this, I think I'll be more, my sleep will be better, I think. So thanks to them. And then the third one would be store basic data. I think this is harder to change because in CoinGecko, I think we store everything as an object. This requires major code changes, but I think the easiest solution would be to prefix the cache. So you have v1, v2. So next time, if you want to deploy new changes that might cause breakage in the cache, you put a different version. So that means you can still use the same Redis server, but different version. So I think this is easier than changing the code. The fourth one, get a dedicated team members, more than one person. So when I was doing this, I think I did a lot of things on my own, but people helped me with the merge request review and everything. But I need to ping them. So I think that's not good. I mean, they have their own work, that kind of stuff. Again, this is more like a mishap from mine because I thought it's easy, to be honest. It's not. So get someone to focus, like so the other person can also see the change log, see what things could go wrong, because having more people is going to help a lot. To be honest, that's the best thing going to happen if you do upgrade. Okay, yeah, the last one, but I didn't do it. Figure out a way to not do this again. It's easy actually. Make sure you have someone who do continuous upgrade. I think we have like a saying that tells people that if it doesn't break, don't change it. I don't think it works this time out. So you need to have that continuous upgrade. I don't think we do like more upgrades after this project, but it's something that we need to do, to be honest. And it shouldn't be like a specific thing. For example, like I mentioned, one of the challenges is that I need to uh, get in touch with the person who developed the feature. So rather than relying on me, we should probably split the work between the teams. So the one who's responsible would know much better rather than me trying to guess all the features in CoinGecko, not just CoinGecko, basically everyone. So I think we have tools these days where it's saying that, oh, you need to do upgrade. Sorry, we have bots saying, oh yeah, there's a new release of gems, so that's going to help. So we have tools these days, so that's going to help a lot. Okay, yep, that's the last one. So that's my message telling the team in November that we managed to release everything. And yeah, 160 merge requests in almost 6 months. Not almost 6 hours. So, okay. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
We have a question from YouTube, and then can you mention the question as well?
Okay, yeah,
and then we'll
sure.
get a question from there.
So I just read this one, right? I'm not sure the name. Sure. Is it a Redis dependency issue? Yes, because every server is sharing the same Redis. So when we deploy to one server, that means others going to get the same cache. So if it's a different kind of cache that cannot be processed by the other server because it's still using the old version of gems of libraries, then it's going to throw error. That's basically the gist of the problem. Yeah.
Okay. So you were mentioning about the chain merge requests, right? Did you do rebase on them or did you merge them?
I do rebase.
Okay. How was that?
I have my own tools, so I wouldn't say it's
Have what?
my own tools, like my own custom script. That is very specific to my sorry. So I have my own tools, very specific to my workflow. Maybe I should explore merge, but I guess I'm the kind who likes to see a clean Git. I don't like to see like lots of dependencies, that kind of stuff. So do you have a very specific question on that?
No. I'm saying this because the preference for rebase is so that you have a clean history, but it comes at the cost that you keep doing that work again and again. It's a lot easier to just merge, and it's a workflow that it creates a very noisy history, but it's a lot simpler than doing rebases. and at some point you're balancing the work that you have to do rebase on a merge on a chain of merge requests versus just like I'll do the easy thing or just merge. So I was curious because if you're doing rebase, you probably spend a lot of time just doing rebases. I generally choose rebases, but sometimes I'm like, maybe this time I skip that. I mean, it's a balance.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you, but that's why I built the custom script. So it's actually just with one command line, it will rebase everything automatically.
Yeah, so if the rebases if they all come clean, the rebase completes clean, it's fine. It's when they don't, that's where the problem comes.
Yeah, so which is why there's a note that I posted just now. So there are things that I have to do manually, but not that many. So I guess, as you mentioned, I'm okay with that, I guess. Sure. Maybe my OCD help a lot. I'm not OCD.
I understand. My tolerance to that kind of thing is also very high, so I usually go through a lot of trouble with my requests. The other thing you mentioned is you were talking about the canary and the shared resources, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting point. I think more importantly, like than thinking about the shared resources ahead of time, would have been to have run the canary setup on staging. Did you run the canary setup on staging?
Yes.
And it didn't catch them?
Yeah, because it requires certain feature. So in REST, right, for caching, when you do run tests, because you need to make, okay, let me think about this first. So in order to reproduce that problem, you need to hit that endpoint. In the test itself, usually for REST in caching, you do like, you put in memory rather than Redis. So you don't run different cache.
Not tests, on the staging. You have a staging setup, right?
Yeah, but I didn't hit that endpoint. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So I thought I can rely on the test, but then the test itself doesn't share a different kind of cache.
Okay. What I was thinking is if you run exactly the same production setup with the canary sharing the resources the same way, then you will find that when those problems of the canary setup will come.
Yeah. After the first incident, actually, we split the staging into two. But then again, as you mentioned, I thought that would be good enough. But then we had the second incident. You have to hit that caching endpoints because in order to throw the error, the application needs to read that old caching. In order to read that, you have to hit that endpoint. Yeah, I thought it's gonna help. I mean, it should help. It should help if I hit that endpoint.
Right. We have another question
from Muhammad Fadil Yaqub. How do you determine if the results written are correct before and after each upgrade? How do you determine if the results written are correct before and after each upgrade? I think we rely on the specs, I guess, and users. And
I guess he's asking like after you upgraded, because like you had that cache problem, which was not caught by the test. So how do you now know that after each of the upgrades, sorry, it's confusing me. So how do you now know that each upgrade actually is returning the correct result, not having to get that?
I think it's an error. So where the cache problem is just through errors. As long as we manage to make sure that the error is not there anymore, then it'll be good enough. I don't think we check up to like decimal points or something. I mean, we do have lots of coverage tests for it. I mean, it's not enough, but good enough, I guess.
We have more questions there because we have more questions on YouTube. We'll get you and then we'll get the YouTube question.
So you mentioned that you started with 300 over gems, right?
Yeah.
Are you referring to just the main gems or including gem partner, the lock dependencies?
It's dependencies as well. So I'm right now I'm thinking if the command bundle list is showing duplicate result or not. If it is, then the number should be less.
So would it have made a difference if you went on a gem upgrading spree one by one first in the latest versions before you go for the Rails upgrade?
Actually, that's what I did. So I don't do race upgrade before doing gem upgrades. It's just that while waiting for those things to be merged, because I have my time, like Monday, limit the deployment, that kind of stuff, I need to test the latest version, whether it's working or not. So which is why I have like multiple branches running at once. From Jeremy Lee, do you face dependency issue on message queue? No. I don't remember we are having problem on that. We use Sidekick. No, we don't. I mean, we don't have to upgrade Sidekick at least. So maybe that's good.
So my question is more on the testing part. So I think first question, do you guys have manual tester as well, or you guys rely only on automated testing?
We don't have QA at that time. We do have QA now. Just saying that out loud.
Meaning that you guys totally depends on CI, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, CI, but we also, as I mentioned before, when I saw a gem that I'm not familiar, I would definitely, I hope I say that right, I would test that feature. I mean, as far as I know, because I don't think I can test all the endpoints, all the page, but I try to make sure that what I can test, I can test.
So with that assumption, right? So let's say when you guys test the staging, right? So you guys, in the normal practice is like set up your staging as close as possible with your production environment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys test all the endpoints of staging? Do you guys have an automated way to hit on endpoints or
No, we don't have that. I mean, we have spec requests, so that's something. And then, as mentioned before, like when we had the first incidents, we split the staging into two. So that one is under load balancer, so that I can push to just one server first, and then try to load on the second server as well, without the upgrades, just to see the problem. So we don't have automated way of doing that, hitting every endpoints. We do have the request spec and some feature specs.
do you guys plan to do that or?
No, the engineering manager says yes. Do you have any more questions? No, right? Okay. I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Amree. The tales of Ruby on Rails upgrade is always fun. Before we move into the next speaker, we have a special guest here that, along with my friend here on my side, Tristan, he has always been, he also has been doing KL Ruby meetups since the number one. And we have here today, Tristan, do you want to put him on?
Hey. Hi guys, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hold on.
Hello,
Where's my
hello.
mouse? My mouse over here.
Hello,
All
hello.
right, so
Hello. Yo.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Ooh, we have
Can you speak something?
Something.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes?
can hear
No? Oh, nice. Okay. Hi guys. It's been a while. Nice to see you all. I see very familiar faces here. So just want to drop by and say hi and uh, say ask how's the pizza and all. you know. Hope you guys are well. I don't want to hold up the show. I just want to say a quick word. Uh, Congrats on the 100 meetup. I wish I was there, but I can't. I work. and I also just recovered from influenza, so it's not advisable for me to hang out in big crowds. So, but yeah, I really like to thank Helio, Tristan, for keeping the show running, and also I think Gui is not here today, but yeah, Gui was also like
He's in
part of the
Jakarta.
team that.
That's
Huh?
he's in Jakarta, he says.
Okay, okay, all right. So yeah, I just want to give a big shout out for these awesome people to keep the community running and growing. So yeah, I hope that I can join you guys for real sometime, and especially now that you guys are all like physical, back to physical meetups, right? So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So yeah, that's all
Well,
from
not
me.
just physical. We have well, according um to the counter here, it's like we have 13 live viewers. People who got kicked out because CoinGecko just consumed all of the seats here. So they're not on the way to San Francisco. But yeah, we have a lot of people on
Yeah,
the line. So yeah, so that's good.
yeah.
All
You
right,
should
all right,
just crash, just crash the
all right,
event.
all right, Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming. It was nice to have you
Okay,
here, at least virtually.
right.
All right, all right, folks. So let's continue on. Now I am going to bring our friend Wenjie. I hope my apologies for the mispronunciation. He's going to be talking about how to reduce Docker image building time in GitLab CI. So without further ado, let me actually get started on his talk here. And hold on. There we go.
Hello. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm Wenjie from CoinGecko, and welcome to Ruby 100 Meetup. And okay, so I'm the engineer for the web team. Usually, I do the new features of our web and then improving the admin panel, doing bug fixing sometimes, and then sometimes doing the infrastructure work also. So today, I'm going to share about how to reduce the code image building time with GitLab CI. I think I picked this topic because you can find a lot of resources to learn how to build a Docker image, but not much example to know how to reduce the time in production. So next slide. So before I start the presentation, people may wonder why I build the image instead of using Docker. And then because Docker, you handle the image building part also. So before I share the result, I'll share what is Docker first for those never used before. It's a PSS software can let you easier deploy your application by one command. Actually, it's like Heroku, but this one you just install on your server. So you can just run git push Docker master to deploy the server, and you will handle the image building part of the deployment. I think it's good for the small code base. Let's take Pico Terminal example. Our news product we launched 2 years ago for the on-chain data. So this one. This is a bundle. It's 150 megabytes and 3,000 files compared, and you only deploy to 2 servers. So after you merge your code to the master, it will take 3.5 minutes to run the test and then 3 minutes for deploying to 2 servers. Actually, it's quite fast, like under 10 minutes. So let's take CoinGecko example. Yeah, I think everyone knows this one. Okay, it's a 55K files code base and then 7.5 times bigger than the Gecko terminal and deploy to 6 servers. But after you merge your code to master, and then you need to take 24 minutes to run the test and then 30 minutes to run the deployment job. So totally we need to took 54 minutes to deploy for master. And then you may wonder why we don't deploy to 6 servers concurrently, because it will cost downtime. So we need to split to 2 sets. Then Docker need to build the image 6 times. So how can we reduce the pipeline time? Actually, we can add an image building job in the test stage, and then using the cool new features called deploy from image. So instead of building the image in deployment stage, you can build the image first, and then later we can reduce each server deployment. I mean, we can deploy the image from just now, the job just now, and then we can reduce each server deployment time from 10 minutes to 3 minutes. So currently our target is to reduce the whole pipeline from 54 minutes and then to 19 minutes, and then 10 minutes for the test, and then 9 minutes for the deployment. So I had to build the image less than 10 minutes. So before I share the tips for reducing the image building time, and then I'll share I'll share an example of how to build a local image first. But actually I won't go through the code line by line because you can get a lot of examples in the internet. So in short, we have 5 stages here. First layer, you to use form to pull the base Ruby image. And then second layer, to use run to install all the apt package, Node.js, and then bundle and yarn. And then the third layer is to install gems and the JBase library. So the third layer is you can using copy command to copy the code base to your work directory. And then the last layer, you can run accept compile to compile all the assets. So then we can push our image to the GitLab registry. And remember, also the code will catch the layer if you didn't make any changes. So let's build an image without any optimization first. So for CoinGecko code base, you need to take 14 minutes to build the whole image. Remember just now I mentioned that the code will catch the image layer if you didn't make any changes. So let's run it again. And then you may wonder why the layer cache doesn't work in GitLab CI. Because the GitLab CI will pick up the jail by the new instance every time. And then so the layer cache doesn't work here. And then how do we solve this issue? Actually, we can use catch from command to download the last image as catch. So first step in your GitLab CI file, you need to run the docker pull command to pull the last image. And you can use the catch from command to use the last image as a catch. So let's run it again let's run it again with only code changes. Because we didn't make any changes on the apt package in the gem, we only took 6.3 minutes to build the image. By CoinGecko, we update the gem quite often. So if you update the gem, you need to take 5 minutes to install all the gem, and then this makes our building time like more than 10 minutes. So I think how do we resolve this issue? Actually, we can use copy from command to speed up the gem installation time. Then first step in your Docker file, you need to pass the last image tag to the Docker file as a variable. And then you can use Docker copy to copy the bundle and the not modulus folder for your last image to the work directory. And remember to use the bundle clean every time to clean up the old gems, otherwise your image is getting bigger and bigger. So it doesn't need to download all the gems to reduce the installation time. Now we have the new stage to copy the gems and the JS library, but it only took 1.2 minutes to install a gem instead of 5 minutes. And then so we achieved our target building an image in less than 10 minutes. But actually, you can reduce the time more by using self-hosted instance. In GitLab CI, we have 2 types of runner. One is the GitLab share runner and the self-hosted runner. The GitLab share runner can customize the hardware spec, and then we will launch a new instance every time. So actually, you can use the whole self-hosted runner to run the CI/CD job. Let's share some benefit to use your own runner. The first thing you can catch your image proof yourself. You can use the same instance to download the image. So your runner doesn't need to download the image again. And then for better I/O because of better hardware. And then better hardware, I think, can reduce the gem installation time and accept recompile time. So let's run it again with our own instance. It only took 4 minutes to build the image. And you can see almost 2x improvement from copying, bundle install, and accept recompile because of better hardware. So yeah, we hit our target now and then reduce the building time by 73%. So let's do a summary here. I think for a small project, using the code is fine, but you may need to build your own image if you need to deploy to more server. And then use catch from to catch the layer in GitLab CI, and then you can use copy from to reduce the gem and then yarn installation time. And then use your own instance to catch the pull image test and improve the performance by better hardware. So I will share the stack of current CoinGecko deployment time after we implement all the techniques I mentioned just now. So currently, CoinGecko only took 17 minutes to test to deploy. And then for MNX in test stage, because we did some optimization in our aspect, and then use parallel test, so the test time reduced from 20 minutes to the 8 minutes. Then 9 minutes in deployment stage, because of we build the image first, then speed up deployment time. So thank you. That's all my presentation.
Can you go back to the deployment pipeline now?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually curious. So what, since you already have the Docker image ready, right? So
Yeah.
when deploying, why does it still take 3 minutes each? Is it like?
Yeah, because you need to pull the image first from the GitLab registry and then run the deployment job. So the code usually handle two parts. One is rebuilding the image first, and then deploy the image to the container.
Oh, okay. So it's really like from your ECP instance, pulling from GitLab.
Yeah.
And then why is it have every instead of GitLab pushing directly to ECR and then because internal network might be faster?
Yeah, I think because we don't have like the site revival engineer here, so I'm not really familiar also. So because we want to try to solve the current issue because the deployment time is quite long, like 1 hour.
So the main thing is the pulling of the image.
Yeah.
May I know how big the image is?
I think I checked the size is around 3 gigabytes for the one image. So usually I need to spend 1 to 2 minutes to pull the image, and then 1 minute to upload to the GitLab registry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question on YouTube. How is the self-hosted instance?
Yeah, actually I have okay, it's okay. You can try to
repeat the question for them.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. I think I will open the.
No, can you read the question for them?
Okay. Sorry.
This is the question.
Okay. Where's the question? Oh, the question is how is self-hosted install linked to the GitLab CI process? Okay. I think you can get the resources to the Git from the GitLab. Can I use a Chrome? Can I use a browser? Yeah. Okay. Thanks. GitLab. So. No, I just probably share how we just this part. Yeah. Okay. Usually you can launch a server in AWS. You launch an instance in AWS, and then you aptly install the GitLab runner application, and then you can run this command to register the runner. Then in your GitLab config, you can get a config. You try add a new runner, then you get a token. And then you run this sudo GitLab runner register. And then you turn up like the command line interface, like you insert the token and then correct tag. And then in your GitLab file, you attach the tag just now you use in the GitLab. And then and that's why then you can use your own runner to run the CI/CD job.
All right. Any other question?
Talking about the installation, right, for the custom runner, do you guys make use of like Kubernetes to make sure the runner is scalable, or you guys just have a fixed amount of runners?
Yeah, I think currently you only run one instance for the whole pipeline. But actually we're planning to using the what's it called using the Kubernetes like auto scaling. Yeah.
The auto scaling.
Yeah, it's still planning. Because we already run out our GitLab credit. That's why.
Okay.
Oh, the nice one. Okay.
So question about the two questions.
Yeah.
One is image size just now. You mentioned like you have around 3 gigs, right?
Yeah.
If you manage to figure out what's the what is it? What is it? Is it the library install? Is it the images file?
I think before I run the bundle and not modulars, the whole code base size is around 1 gig. And then I think the other 2 gigs is all from the library, the bundle, I mean the gens and the not modulars. Yeah, because we use a lot of gens.
You guys use the local multi-stage build as well?
I mean, last time I tried to use the local multi-stage to reduce the size, but not sure why the cache doesn't work in GitLab CI. This first time I tried to not using the self-hosted instead, because I don't need to maintain another layer bar. And then I use multi-stage I mean, it can reduce the size of 3 gig to 2 gig, but not sure why the layer cache doesn't work. Even I use the cache form to pull the image first. And I think it's an issue it's an issue in Docker also. I can find a lot of examples. I mean, a lot of people raise this issue in Docker.
I may have your answer.
Yeah, sorry?
I may have your answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one, can you back to the slide just now? You mentioned I think the last slide of the 3 minutes build.
This one? This one?
Go back. Yeah, this one.
This one?
No, the
last one?
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
So one part, right? The second last part, which is the asset
Recombine,
right?
yeah.
You try to optimize that as well.
Yeah, actually, the reason we spend more time on the asset precompile because currently you're using two applications CSS, and then it took a lot of resources to precompile the asset. And then currently, we're using Tailwind and Bootstrap, and then we upgrade our Tailwind to the latest version, and then you can reduce the precompile time a lot. Yeah. And then in future, I'm not sure we're still using asset sync because actually we spend a lot of time not from the precompiled asset. We spend a lot of time on after we compile the asset, we need to upload the asset to the S3.
Yeah, I mean just curious because I think last time I'd say she also try to. I think one strategy I was thinking of was like the same thing. You just cache the image, the assets. You download first, and then if there's no changes on the asset, you skip. You totally skip. You don't run, right? So that was the idea.
Yeah, actually, it's a good approach to reduce the time. Yeah.
You see that as 4 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Next time I try to experiment.
Alright, so I was gonna ask about the views. I don't know if you run into that exact problem, but there was a change in behavior when it comes to the Docker cache. In the past, if you wanted to do a Docker build, and if you had an existing image, you will see like, oh, I've seen this layer, the command is the same. I have the resulting layer. You will just use the cache automatically. And it still works like that if you're running on your machine, but it was a problem on CI systems because it was vulnerable to cache poisoning. So I could build an image with the same name as the image that you're using, but with different commands, and your build would pick up the cache from my image. So they reworked the internals, and now that's why when you run on a different machine, even though the machine has the same image and the layers are the same, it doesn't reuse the cache. So what you do is you do cache from, saying like, I trust this image, but when you push, you also need dash dash cache too, because the image, when you just do a build, the image that gets generated does not have the cache information metadata built into the image, so they remove that to prevent the cache poisoning. So you need to do dash dash cache two and give a cache image, a cache image that is going to push. Then it's going to push that image with the metadata.
Okay.
And then you can do cache from that image, and then it will load it.
Oh, I see.
So if you search for it, it's something that was changed in a somewhat recent. We run into a similar problem because we had a system that used cache, and then all of a sudden it's like, why are those bits like taking so long? What's going on? And then none of them are using the cache, and we're like so puzzled. Like, it worked before, right? What's going on? In one of the versions, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, they found a cache poisoning vulnerability, and then they introduced those changes. So just take a look at Docker cache poisoning vulnerability, and then you see what version exactly changed and what is the steps you need to.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I'll try later. Yeah.
All right. So no more questions? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Oh, the mic.
All right, everybody. Let's okay. Let's move on. And let me see what else I have here. We have our talks and quick hiring shoutouts. CoinGecko, HiveKind, KDSpot, they're all hiring. We also have Bateriku. They are looking for a mid-level developer, full-time position, hybrid remote. You can email Aswan or you can find him around. So Aswan, can you hit on? All right, that's Aswan. Let me see what else. A quick shout out to our friends from RubyConf Thailand. And if you use Ruby, my promo code, they're gonna give you 30% on the ticket. So you should consider going there. And let me see what else I have here. Like I said, this is Ruby Tuesday 100. So let's switch back here to remember and celebrate the 100 meetups. So let me see if I can find, where are you? Hold on a second. Where's my mouse? Okay, so I need to
just drag it.
yeah. Are you sharing? Yeah. Okay, so we need to
just drag it.
Got it.
And then a small circle to make it full screen.
Okay, so sounds like Tristan, do you want to talk that out?
Yeah, sure. So this is so I got my old messages from Facebook. This was when Jimmy and I and Ian and Arzumi were talking. So we just came from RubyCon, Red Dot Ruby, Singapore in 2013. We met Max, and then we found out about Ruby Tuesdays, and then we realized why don't we have something in Malaysia at that point. And so this was like part of the thread when we were saying, hey, why don't we do this? We got everyone all in the same Facebook chat. And then this is when we actually like finalized it. Like I think this is June 13, and then William, because he probably saw it like the next day, and then he responded. So that's like generally, I think this was like the beginning of like the vision of having that Ruby Tuesdays. And I'd really like to thank CoinGecko. Sorry, I was kidding about the thing, but I'm really grateful that you hosted our 100th meetup today. For giving us the space, keeping the spirit alive. Jimmy and I have been taking a step back, where I'm just like helping out with the back of the streaming, etc. The baton has been passed previously to Gui and Gui from before, and then now Gui is he's still in Penang, but he's moving around. The other Gui is now in Europe. Now Helio is like doing the meetups, like getting the people to present, finding out the hosts. It's been like Jimmy and I have been stepping back, but we're still very much like supporting Tail Brigade, and thank you very much for supporting us as well, making sure that that we still go on and have this community ongoing. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you, Tristan. So let me go back here to what I had planned.
You can just keep it there.
Okay, so, oh no, that's fine.
And you can just play.
No. Oh no. Where's my other window?
This is why you don't get a Mac. It's like complicated.
Where are my slides? They disappeared. Where did it
Can't
come?
you just like do the expo thing? I don't know. How do you use a Mac? Like how do you display like all of the windows?
Wait, you're trying to move this there.
No, it's like
No, he wants to see all of the windows because he lost his slides.
My Google Chrome, my
There you
Chrome.
go. See, that's a lot of windows.
There you go. Wait, what do you mean?
Even the Mac user doesn't know how to use it. Don't get a Mac. Docker runs very slow on Macs.
Yeah, so I think it's
like
hold on.
3 fingers. Okay.
Okay, let me. Yeah, hold on.
I don't know. Let's just command tab. I think it's easier.
You use command tab for Chrome.
Yeah, Chrome. No, I think it's the wrong desktop. Now see there's 3 hands. So figure it out.
I think
No. So this one. So this is this. I don't know where your tab is.
Yeah, so that is the whole problem.
Can you just share a new one?
yeah. Is it this desktop?
No, it's not. All right. Let me open another one here.
Yeah, I'll just share another one.
Localhost 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Can you share this one?
All right. There you go. We are back here. Somehow. Okay, so let me see where. Okay, let me. There is something else here. Let me see if localhost. There's 2 guys running here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, let me. I think here I did a. Okay, no, we are in the. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. No. I have 2. Okay, so okay, that's the first one, and there you go. Thank you, the Ruby Thailand folks who gave us.
This one to the screen.
I need to share to the stream. Okay. Oops. Oh, there you go. I found it.
No, you found the original one.
Oh, here is the stream down here. So I need to share these to the screen. Okay. I'll stop sharing the other one, and I'm going to start sharing this one now. Okay, make sure I share the right one. All right, there you go. So again, thanks the folks from RubyConf Thailand. They gave us a promo code that 30% discount on the ticket. And like I said, this is a Ruby 100 meetup. So let's remember and celebrate. So let me go back to the beginning of this. So this is the quick slide deck for just to remember the 100 meetups. So how it got restarted, like Tristan was talking about, these 4 gentlemen, Jimmy, Tristan, Azumi, and Guen, they got together after the Singapore conference and decided to do it. That's how it started. Why it started? I don't know what this GIF is about. Who have an idea? I think because we are never alone or something like that. And this is another why. You know, Rails make you feel like Yoda. That's my take. Also, TLD Code Guard. I think that's Tristan in that photo. Who think that's Tristan? And that's a normal pairing. And also for the community. These are some of the images that was shared on the Y 3 years ago when they celebrated 7 years. So let's check some numbers. So the first two talks, Code Kata by Tristan and Vagrant by Jimmy, should have been Docker. The last two talks, some Rails stuff and passkeys that I gave recently. And in 10 years, in 100 meetup, there was 261 talks, 80 speakers. And this is a list of all of them. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to go to them. I'm sure some of you are going to find yourself in that slide. And here we have Loy, KS. And here we go, the list keeps going. And here are the top 10 speakers. So Jimmy and Tristan, you know, they've been a power in this community for 10 years, for 100 meetups. So that shows up in the amount of time they came here to talk. Gui and Goi, I'm not sure if I can differentiate the pronunciation of these two names. Loy is also here with us today. Hassanin Named, 9 talks. One quick detail here about Jimmy, there was a couple of meetups that he had like 3 different talks. And those are three different titles. So he's like me, like talks a lot.
That's the problem when you're a meetup host and you can't find speakers. You have to make 3 talks by yourself.
I totally understand that because in a couple of months I'm in that bottom of that list with 4 talks. Kaylan's here as well, Carlos, Kargan, Teveraj. Are you here? Teveraj? No, Victor Lim, and Nick Martin. This is the top 10. Some of you folks must come again and talk. You know, I'm looking for a Docker talk. So let's keep going. Also, a big thanks to all the companies that hosted Ruby Tuesday. This is the list: Mind Valley, HiveKind, KDSpot, CoinGecko, Surya Labs, Next Academy Coding School, Booster, Fave, Collabs Photobook, Touristly, Durian, Deco Banza, Ravage and Magic, Superhands and Idea River. And also the list of companies listed as sponsors. Engineer My 30 times listed as sponsor. HiveKind 13 times. Project Renaissance, TribeHive, Forkwell, Hire, JetBrains, AWS, only one AWS, I can't believe it. DigitalOcean, Booster, Grassroots by Magic, Surya Labs, and PictoChart. So these were sponsors. They were sponsors on the meetups. And I want to give a heartfelt thanks to a couple folks. Mind Valley, they've hosted Ruby Tuesday 33 times.
They do Elixir now. They don't do
They changed to the dark side, you know. They are not Euro anymore. Also, HiveKind. These guys hosted us 17 times and sponsored us 13 times. Thank you so much. Carlon is here. And our one and only Tristan. Also, heartfelt thanks to Engineers Mind. They've been sponsoring our streaming for the past 30 meetups.
Just want to talk a little about the engineers.ny in case you didn't know about it. So it's a group of like technologists. We have a Slack channel. Most of these live streams that you find are hosted in the engineers.ny YouTube channel. So there's like PyCon, there's Python content there. The Ruby meetups are streamed there. Like whenever there's JavaScript meetups, we also stream there. So we try to get a lot of the videos of the communities. So it's not just Ruby communities, like all of the technology stuff that we can try and get our hands on. We try to put it there as a service for everyone. So if you're interested in checking out, just look for engineers.ny on YouTube. I think I forgot that you can just search engineers.ny on Google, I guess, and then you'll find our Slack channel. We should do like a proper website soon, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, so let's keep going. And pre-Ruby conference, and hopefully counting, you know, Ruby Conf 2016 and 2017 and 2018 and maybe 2024. I don't know. The future, how does the future for us? How the future looks like for us? Help is always wanted. Help organizers, organizing events, become a speaker. Doesn't matter if you come to talk about a jam. Sometimes I do that. Talk to your colleagues about Ruby Tuesday, and let's come once a month. Just say hi and have some pizza. Your feedback is valuable. You want to hear, what you guys want to hear about. Code kata in our teams. These are two things that Jimmy and Tristan did a lot of times over the past 10 years. Gaming using Ruby. Is anybody interested in gaming development? Code clinic. Saturday code-a-thon, maybe twice a year. We can do that. An unconference. Rails frontend. Who wants to hear about Rails frontend? How about Rails full stack? That's my favorite. I couldn't miss the joke. But anyway, those are things that we can try to come up with talks. If anybody's interested, just send us a message. And I see you all next month. But before we go, we still have a cake. So let me go back and get the cake, and then we'll share a cake, and then you guys are free to go. No, I didn't want to do that. I'm just gonna take a picture and then
Yeah, sure.
yeah, maybe I'm not sure if he's fighting or not, but I guess one thing we can do is, do you want to try to take a picture with everybody in the back? It's up to you. Yeah.
It's only language I'm
Hey everybody, let's all try to gather on this side over here.
Not sure what words are in Portuguese. Obrigado mucho por el pastel.
Yes, like that.
I don't think pastel is no Portuguese. It is.
Yeah, it's too cold. Anyway, so let me see if I can.
I mean, you can install the.
Okay, so everybody just hang out over there. All right, everybody, this way. Come. Tristan, come, Tristan.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Kaylin, you need to stay in the back. You're the tallest one here. There's some echo going on.